Remember that dude that was saying that I need a gun because I'm weak?
You're weak! You're weak! You'll always be weak! You need a gun because you're weak! You need a gun because you're weak!
You know, when I think about the way this rifle is set up and how it looks, it makes me think of fake tits. And the reason I say that is because, like, are they real? No. Does it get your dick hard? What is up, boys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over my MOCK18 MOD0. Before we jump into it, I want to go over a couple things real quick. My first video took off a little bit faster than I thought it would, and we went from like 0 to almost 400 subscribers, so I appreciate it. That's pretty sweet. If you're not subscribed and you're new here, please subscribe. I have a lot more content like this over some of my rifles, my builds, trains of thought, gear, etc, etc. If you're not following me on Instagram, please do. You'll see some behind the scenes stuff a little bit, pictures of my guns. You'll get sneak peeks on videos and stuff before they come out here on YouTube. It's going to be Americans_Anonymous1, all lowercase, and the number 1, not 1 spelt out. I have the same profile picture on there as I do on my channel, so shouldn't be too hard to find. So basically, this rifle came about back in 2016, 2017. I was looking to set up like my personal like fighting rifles for self-defense and training and whatnot. I wasn't in the financial position that I am now to afford nicer guns, nicer accessories, nicer gear. So I set up this rifle basically out of a place of budget-minded rifle. Basically, this little rifle started its life as a pistol kit from Palmetto State Armory, and it basically comes with the upper bolt carrier, charging handle, lower parts kit, including the buffer tube, buffer spring, and an SBA3 brace. And literally, all you have to do is buy a lower receiver. So I went to Academy Sporting Goods, which is a sporting goods store that's local to me here in Houston. I'm not sure if they're nationwide, but they were basically selling strip low receivers at one time, believe it or not. And this is a Savage MSR low receiver. So I got my strip lower, I had my upper and all the parts, pretty much threw it all together. And then I was like, okay, now I want to season it to taste. I want a Mark 18 Mod0. One, it just looks fucking cool, right? Definitely a cool looking rifle. Two, it was back when like Granthum's Granthum's channel was first getting popular. I'm sure we can all remember those sexually confusing times. And I saw one of his first videos when I think he was talking about AR15 setups, and he was running a Mod0 upper on one of his like rifles, and it just like really resonated with me. And then after I did some research and looked more into the Mod0s, I was like, that's it. That's the look I want to achieve with this rifle. But I don't have a whole lot of money for nice components, so let's jump into how I set it up exactly. Like I said, this rifle is like a budget rifle, so just brace yourself. Disregard the suppressor. This suppressor came later once I was making more money, and it was a different time. So this is a much nicer suppressor. This is a pretty Gucci suppressor. It was the first one I ever got. It's a Surefire 300 SPS. The reason I got it was I had a 300 blackout build, which I no longer have because 300 blackout is way too expensive. But that's a different video. So 3-prong Surefire muzzle device, Surefire 300 SPS. I probably have like 6,000 rounds through this can, so I'll be doing a dedicated review on this at some point. The upper itself, it's a 10.5-inch barrel, so it's not a 10.3, it's not a real Mark 18, but I mean, we're well past that at this point. There's tons of dudes with 10.5s on Instagram and YouTube masquerading them around as Mark 18s, so whatever. So A-post permanently up, pretty standard. From PSA, it came with a Magpul MOD carbine linked handguard, the polymer ones, the ones that were cool back in like 2012. I pretty much took that off right away and put on a Pro Mag polymer quad rail. So this isn't a Knight's Armament. This isn't even a decent quad rail from my reputable manufacturer. This is literally a polymer quad rail, and it has heat shielding inside, believe it or not, but it was like 30 bucks. So I picked that up, put it on there, and then once I painted it, like it fits the build. Like it looks pretty sweet, so can't complain too much there. Streamlight ProTac HLX on the side with a pressure pad mounted up top. These lights work fine. If you've seen my video of my like main squeeze rifle right now, like that's pretty much what I run in all my guns. Moving back from there, this isn't an aim point of any kind. This is actually like a fake point, I call it affectionately. This is a Vortex Strikefire 2 red-green dot, which is kind of gimmicky, but it looks the part. Like I said, that's gonna be a reoccurring theme with this rifle. I've had no issues with it. It holds zero fine. I had no problem zeroing the 2 MOA dot. It is on a Vortex 30mm lower 1/3 witness mount here, so I'm able to co-witness my iron sights through it, and I basically put the dot in the top 1/3 of the window when I'm shooting. No problems with that. Behind that, this is a like no-name brand Amazon knockoff LMT rear sight. Like I said, it looks the part, but it's probably like a no-go for serious rifles. Like, I don't even think I could find this again if I tried. It was just plugged it right into Amazon LMT like clone rear sight, and this one popped up. It was like 30 bucks. Ordered it, threw it on there, zeroed it up perfectly fine. I've had no problems with it, but I mean, honestly, nobody shoots with irons anymore anyway. It's on there for the looks. For the culture, if you will. Inside the guts of the rifle, it's a PSA bolt carrier, PSA charging handle, mil spec, nothing fancy. The only issues I've had with it was just from putting thousands of rounds to this rifle, suppress and whatnot. I've had to change out the gas rings. I had to change out the bolt. Pretty sure I changed out a firing pin at some point. I can't really remember. Honestly, this rifle sits in the back of my safe now. I haven't shot this thing in months until like I saw it and I was like, you know what? Let's make a video on that rifle because it looks pretty cool. I'm sure guys would be interested in how to get a MOCK18 MOD0-ish looking rifle for fairly cheap. Magpul MOE vertical grip, pretty standard there. Like I said, the lower receiver was a stripped Savage MSR I got from Academy. I SBR'd it after a while so I could have a actual stock, which you can see I'm running the Magpul MOE carbine stock, pretty much the cheapest stock that Magpul makes. It gets the job done. I mean, like I said, at the time I was short on money, so I was nickeling and diming everything I could to get a decent rifle to train with and whatnot. Lower parts are all mil spec with the exception of the trigger. This is PSA's enhanced polished trigger, and it's actually, believe it or not, pretty good for, I mean, what it is. It's a mil spec trigger. So if you can see, it's a single stage trigger, no take up here. Crisp break and reset. Pretty good reset, audible, tactile, decent for a mil spec trigger. I think you can buy these alone on PSA for like 40 bucks or something. Perfectly fine for me. And believe it or not, I feel like I can run it pretty quick. Obviously not as quick as my slick, you know, drop in nice AR triggers, but hey, it's decent. You don't need a real slick trigger to shoot fast. You just gotta learn your trigger basically. But other than that, the only thing I changed out in the rear was I put in a heavier H3 buffer. I believe if you're running a short barreled suppressed AR, at the very least you need to address your buffer to kind of slow down that cyclic rate so your rifle doesn't beat itself to shit over a lower round count than it normally would. Really and truthfully, this rifle is just something that I could afford to put together on a budget. If this is all you can afford to do, hey, I mean, I'd rather you have this than nothing at all. So, I mean, with that being said, guys, that's really all I got. I just want to do like a short little video on my like fake MOCK18 MOD0. See, like, it's cool. Like I said, there's nothing wrong if this is the only rifle that you can afford. Everybody starts somewhere. If you're just getting into it, then, I mean, I can understand not wanting to spend 2 G's on a Daniel Defense or even more on a more higher end rifle. Like, if you just want to get something like this and put it together and train with it and, you know, get your reps in, like, that's cool. If you want to get something like this as like just a training rifle that you run shitty steel through and whatever and not feel bad about it, that's cool too. I think the main thing that like PSA is standing for with rifles like this is just arming people. And I mean, it worked back then. I didn't have the resources to buy a nicer rifle, so I mean, I got what I could afford, and you know, it worked good for me as far as training. I have tons of rounds through this rifle, and like all that shooting experience like pays off. Like, that's one thing, you know, it's like anything you do in life, the more you do it, the better you're gonna get. Anyways, guys, I will see you in the next one. A lot of cool stuff coming out, so please subscribe if you're not. I'm going to be doing videos on my gear setups, my kit loadouts, some videos on trains of thought on certain things. Hopefully some of my like real world experience can help you when it comes to like medical stuff, setting up your gear, stuff like that. So subscribe. There's gonna be a lot of cool stuff coming out, and I appreciate you watching. So, has your wife or girlfriend ever called your guns toys? Did it hurt your soul? If so, subscribe.